I am home, I am home. I have traveled far along this road, and now I'm home. Shalom, shalom. In the love of God, I am home. Good morning and welcome to Unity Spirituality with Open Hearts and Open Minds. And I'm not Lisa Firestone. You all may have known she was scheduled to be here today to do both the music and the message, and we just adore Lisa. And she comes to town about once a year to visit her mother who lives here, and then she blesses us by coming to this home for her as well. She's very much a heart part of our congregation. And her son had an emergency, and I got a call Thursday afternoon from her. And she said with the emergency, she missed her flight. And she tried to get one rescheduled, and they were astronomically expensive. And she was hesitant to leave her son at that point. So I just said, don't worry, we've got it covered. And luckily, Ron and Clara were in the house starting to work on Christmas music. And I said, I'll figure out a message, and they figured out the music, so thank you for your flexibility. And so Lisa's going to be with us a little later in the service in a piece when we do our special music. And she is going to reschedule and come at some point in the future. So we'll get to welcome Lisa. But I'm here to welcome you today. And let us sing Come Light, Light of God as we light the Christ candle, symbolic of the divine spark in each of us, in all of humanity and in all of creation. And you on Zoom, please light your candles as well. And you are in our midst in heart and spirit and love. Come light, light of God, give light to creation, enlighten our hearts and remain with your world. Come light, light of God, give light to creation, enlighten our hearts and remain with our world. Oh, and so welcome this Sunday. Can you believe it's almost Thanksgiving? Oh my gosh. So this week we are celebrating the Thanksgiving season, and with that, we want to welcome one and all who are here. And this morning's talk is about Thanksgiving and about sitting at table together. So I invite you now to stand as we gather around table consciously, singing our opening song. Oh, Mother God, flowing through our hearts, we give thanks for the bread of our lives, for the hands in the earth and the fruit of your womb. Oh, Mother God, blessed be. Oh, Mother God, blessed be. Oh, Mother God, thank you for this day, for the love that you wash over me, for this joy in my heart I will share. seated.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning,
And welcome
Bianca.
to our visitors that we have today from Squim, Penny, and Mike. Thank you for joining us. Yes. So today, since Pam was talking about Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving, I decided that I would find a poem about Thanksgiving, of course. And this one is a little different. I must have read 20 different poems trying to pick one that actually fits. Too many of them were about turkey and food and things like that. And I thought, let's find something a little bit more expansive. So here's what I found. And I don't like to stand behind this podium, so I'm going to try to remove this microphone. And Makesh's probably going to yell at me. Let's see. Let's see if I can walk around. What do you think? As long as I don't go near Pam, right? Yeah, don't want any of that feedback. So this poem is called What Should I Be Thankful For? By Patricia Fleming. It's a little long, so bear with me, but it does have rhyming parts. So some of those poems just don't even have rhyming parts, and you think, how can they be a poem? Aren't they supposed to have rhyming parts? Anyway, so now what should I be thankful for? Now where do I begin? Of course, the greatest gift of all, my family and my friends. But it's also all the little things that touch my life each day that I sometimes take for granted, letting life get in the way. Like my comfy bed that keeps me warm as I sleep away the night, and that lovely, glowing, smiling sun that wakes me with her light. Just lying there and taking time to hear the world as she awakes, the peaceful sounds of early morn that nature starts to make. The smell of breakfast cooking, my cat entreating me to rise, breathing in the crisp fall air and looking up at pillowed skies. To be blessed with still another day, to laugh and love and live, to have enough to care for me and still have plenty more to give. To smell and hear the rain fall as it patters from the sky, to watch a snowy blizzard roar while sitting safe and warm inside. To look upon the bluest sea as the gulls go soaring by, to feel the salt upon my skin as I lay beneath the sun to dry. I'm so grateful that God still allows another child to be born, and that he opens up his heavens to all those loved ones that I mourn. I feel blessed by each new moment, another chance to make things right, and for all good people in this world who love and give with all their might. It's important each and every day to bring all our thanks to mind. It's tragic we're so lost in life that we seldom take the time. But as for me, I plan to make a change. It's a simple change to make, to thank God for all my blessings every morning when I wake. So I thought that was really lovely. And besides, I have a cat, and I hear birds in the morning, and I thought, and I see the ocean, and so, it's a good one, I thought. Yeah, so today's daily word is guidance, and I think we all need guidance. It's always a challenge for me to listen to the guidance. So, divine guidance clears and lights my way. I am divinely guided, moment by moment, breath by breath. With certainty and assurance, I go forth to do what is mine to do. trusting all things are working for good. Even during the most trying times, through my faith, I am assured all is well, regardless of appearances, just as the sun shines after a storm. In times of uncertainty, I turn within, pray, and enter the silence where I can better discern the still small voice within me. Then I relax and pay attention to my intuition. I listen deeply to my soul's calling. I am open and receptive to the many ways my guidance manifests. Knowing and claiming my oneness with God, I dare to reach for my dreams. With unshakable faith, I go forth expecting to receive clear guidance and direction from the Christ within me. And from Psalm 32, I will instruct you and teach you the way you should go. Divine guidance clears and lights my way. And so it is.
So I now invite you to settle. Connect with that higher part of ourselves and with the presence of God in the midst of us and our lives and this spiritual family and our entire world. Let us settle in, allowing sanctuary to carry us into and then back out of our time of meditation. Sanctuary. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open-hearted, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I am a living sanctuary for you. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open-hearted, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I am a living sanctuary for you. Just settle for a moment into this outer sanctuary we are blessed to share, even as you settle at depth into the inner sanctuary that abides with you every moment of your soul journey. From before your first breath, through this life experience, and after you take the last breath here into the beyond. The center, the sanctuary of your soul, ever shines bright and welcoming. Allow yourself to settle in at depth for a moment of silence and stillness as you allow Spirit to gift you your inner sanctuary, your place of peace and presence. How wonderful to know that the divine presence ever abides with you and within you. It abides behind you on the journey you have already traveled, to your right and to your left, with where you abide now, before you in that which is yet to come. That presence is above you as inspiration pouring down into the chalice of your being. And it is embodied through your body here on earth as you stand upon Mother Earth side by side with all of creation. And that presence also within, behind, before, right, left, above, below, and within. Allow yourself to just float in this sea of divine presence and peace, compassion and love, illumination and wisdom. The greatest commandment is simply that we love. In this moment, allow Spirit to gift you with an awareness of how deeply you are loved and cherished by the divine and by all of us who know and experience you, and all of those for whom you have prayed near and far. Allow yourself to simply feel love. How blessed to be loved and cherished right where you are and as you are. Not perfection, but presence. Oh, what a gift that is. And now, having filled with the presence and with a sense of love and acceptance, now be willing to be a channel through which that radiates out from you to those near to you this day, in body, in heart, and in mind. Feel the blessings of the companionship of friends and family and kindred souls. Feel the harmony that exists between you and these beloveds. And now take that harmonized love and radiate it out further and further to those not just near but also far away. Those far in body, those far in heart, those far in mind and consciousness. And allow yourself to radiate love and compassion to those not only that you love, but those who challenge you all around the world. Peace begins with us. The greatest law of love begins in our own hearts. Radiate this out until you see the whole globe encircled with the presence of loving light, to which you have added your spark of light and blessing. We come this week to our celebration of Thanksgiving, but seeking to allow this holiday to inform our lives every step of the way, to always be in gratitude, to take Thanksgiving into thanks-living, where every breath, every moment has the possibility to be a moment where you are blessed and blessing. Open to allow this Thanksgiving to be one that deepens and broadens your connection to not only those near and dear, but those far and different. Bring into this moment now all of the prayers that are yours and feel us side by side uplifting your prayers into the divine presence, knowing that their unfolding will shower down upon us with blessings near and far. Uplift your prayers now, releasing them to highest and best and right and perfect time. Let us so pray, silently or aloud, however each is guided. Unity of Townsend. We add to these prayers all of those entrusted to the High Watch chaplains, written, spoken, or sent soul to soul. And we uplift into light this day the Goldsmith family and their sweet Buster, their little sweet dog who got his angel wings this week. Sweet Buster, you blessed our world. You blessed this family. And I know you go carrying the love they blessed you with. How blessed we are to see that divine spark, not only in humanity, but in all of the creation, including our animal companions, whom we evolve with in blessings and being blessed. So we send sweet Buster on his way with his wings, and we send comfort and love to all of the Goldsmiths as they remember this dear furry one always and forever. We unite now with all of those all around the world who hold for peace this day. In a world filled with turmoil, sometimes it's easy to forget what a difference each individual makes in shifting the consciousness toward peace, where that becomes the only option. Let us unite in calling for world peace and being willing to be part of the spark of light and embodied action that brings this peace to one and all. I can think of nothing to be more grateful for than peace on earth. And so gather your life now, and you exactly as you are, and receive this Celtic Thanksgiving blessing as you go forth into this week, this holiday, this season of Thanksgiving, and the year yet to come. May the hearth be gladdened by the laughter of children, by the kinship of clan, by the wisdom of elders, by the memory of souls passing, by the joy of souls yet to be born. No word or thought to darken this day, no remembrance or sorrow to trammel the night, but sun, moon, and stars to brighten the gathering, songs, smiles, and stories to share their delight, the blessings for one and for all. And so it is. So with this blessing to inspire and infill us, We now give thanks for this time of renewed dedication and inspiration as we sing Sanctuary, realizing how our inner sanctuary has grown in this moment and how it can be the light in the world that we share. Sanctuary. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open-hearted, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I am a living sanctuary for you. Love, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open-hearted, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I am a living sanctuary for you. And so feel this presence, open your eyes, and radiate it out into the world. Namaste, I behold the divine light of the Christ in each and every one of you. And now the gift of special music, and Lisa Firestone is going to be with us via the miracles of technology. So I'm going to come sit down here so I can see it too.
I'm unafraid to live, I'm unafraid to die, to love with all my heart, even when it makes me cry. I'm learning to surrender what I cannot change, so I can face each new day unafraid. Unafraid when I live from love, unafraid when I give from love, unafraid and it fills my cup when I live from love. Unafraid when I live from love, unafraid when I give from love, unafraid and it fills my cup when I live from love. I'm unafraid of truth, it leads to understanding. I'm unafraid of sorrow, it keeps my heart expanding. My life's a patchwork quilt of all the memories made. Wrapped inside it, I feel unafraid. Unafraid when I live from love, unafraid when I give from love, unafraid and it fills my cup when I live from love. Unafraid when I live from love, unafraid when I give from love, unafraid and it fills my cup when I live from love. We trust just what our heart tells us or what other people say. Either way, regret catches up to us one day. But every risk I took and every price I paid was a step to where I'm standing, unafraid, oh, unafraid. Unafraid when I live from love, unafraid when I give from love, unafraid and it fills my cup when I live from love. Unafraid and I live from love, unafraid when I give from love, unafraid and it fills my cup when I live from love. Unafraid when I live from love, unafraid when I give from love, unafraid and it fills my cup when I live from love. Unafraid when I live from love, unafraid when I give from love, unafraid and it fills my cup when I live from love. God knows I've surrendered, and heaven knows I'll pray. So I'll come where I'm going, unafraid, unafraid, unafraid.
And so now that you've seen Lisa, for those of you who may not have met her yet, and for all of us who just heard her beautiful song, let's take a moment of prayer. I wanted to wait to introduce her to everyone. So let's just take a moment and move back into that deep prayer space and see that beautiful soul surrounded, enfolded, and infilled with the presence of the divine, where she knows that we are here uplifting her in nothing but love and light, along with her beloved Son. The divine presence is there, and all is well. And for this we give deep and abiding thanks. Om, amen, and blessed be. See why I told you it was going to be a real treat when she comes. She's such a light and such an amazing soul. And I've always loved her song. And I saw that one she did with Janice Stanfield, who's another one of our Unity people that comes and does music now and then. Oh, so here we are, Thanksgiving week, being in gratitude. And I've always loved that this country has a day of Thanksgiving, a day of being in gratitude together and sitting around table together, sharing food with friends and family. And it used to be a totally peaceful gathering, but in the last, I'd say 10 years, it's like most families have gotten to the point where we cannot talk politics at Thanksgiving because we have become so polarized in so many ways. And Thanksgiving is one of those moments that kind of reminds us that we truly are one nation, one family. But how do we live that? We have challenges doing it at home. There was a wonderful story about a little girl, and she wrote a letter to God, and she said, "Dear God, how in the world do you love everybody in the whole world? I can't even do it with my family." She said, "I get angry, I get frustrated." But then she realized, I always love them. Even when I'm upset with them, I still love them. Love transcends everything. Charles Fillmore said, love is the harmonizing power of the universe. It's what brings us together. And harmonizing does not mean that everybody is playing the same note and the same instrument. That would be really boring. The harmony comes from all the different instruments and voices and energies and ways of expressing. But if you've ever been to a symphony or to a concert, the beginning where they're all warming up, isn't that, it's like cacophony. It's like not anything but harmony. And aren't you glad when they finally stop doing that and then make that first note where they're together and harmonizing? I see our world right now as we're all practicing our instruments. And it sounds kind of out of sync. And we've got to find a way to harmonize and to bring that together. And of course, we're promised in all of the world traditions that the path to that is love. It's compassion, it's wisdom, it's unconditional love that lets each one be who they are. Most people do the best they can with what they know. And one of the things I love about traveling is I wonder, who would I have been if I had been born here? Who would I have been if I had been born there, to that family, in this culture, in this country, in this spiritual tradition? Which is one of the reasons that I've always loved the idea of reincarnation. I don't want to just do this once. This world's way too interesting for that. I want to experience so many different things. And I can do that not only by traveling physically, but by traveling with my mind to open to new possibilities, traveling with my heart to accepting someone who's different at a new level of being. The Thanksgiving holiday that we celebrate was a moment in time where two very different traditions, cultures, peoples came together to share table together. There were conflicts before that. There was colonialization that was abusive that followed it. But there was that moment that we remember where there was a harmony. And it's there to remind us of that possibility always. So I honor the challenges that come with Thanksgiving, but I also honor the potential moment of harmonizing through love and sitting at table together that represents. In the ancient traditions, one of the things that I learned when I was in ministerial school was there was an ancient tradition that when you would travel through the desert, you would come across other caravans, and everyone was scared because they didn't want to be killed in their sleep or have all of their stuff stolen. And so a tradition was created where if you joined someone's tent or caravan and you sat at table and shared a meal with them, you could do them no harm. Isn't that wonderful? Hopefully they all followed that rule. Probably not, but there were shining moments where they did. And I love that idea. That's why coming together at table and sharing a meal is such a part of the Thanksgiving tradition. And that coming together and sharing a meal is what is symbolized even in the tradition of Holy Communion that Jesus introduced at what? The Last Supper, sitting at table together with the people that he had worked with, and he was trying to tell them what was coming, and they just didn't get it. They were arguing who gets to sit at your right hand in heaven and who's going to sit at your left hand in heaven. And he's going, you guys aren't quite getting it yet. But at that table, they were all there. And that upper room had not only the disciples at the table, I believe with all of my heart, I have seen the painting in Milan of the Last Supper with Mary Magdalene, to me so clearly present. I mean, it just brings me to tears to think about that. And there were other people and women who were part of that upper room gathering. Our tradition tends to have it be male only. Jesus was the most inclusive soul that has ever lived. He welcomed everyone, no matter what his tradition had told him. He would sit at table if you were Gentile and not Jewish, which was forbidden. But he did that. And at the Last Supper, it would have been an inclusive inner circle that gathered, even though the ones at the main table are the ones that are painted. It was a gathering of more than that. And in that moment, he took two of the most common elements you would ever find on a table, bread and wine, and offered them as symbolic elements of divine presence in the world. Common elements that everyone had on their table back home, whether they were rich or poor, and reminding us that the sacred is found in the commonplace. That it's in our ordinary, commonplace lives that we have the choice to see the sacred. Jesus said, "Be in the world, but not of the world." Be in it, connect with it, commune with it, experience it. But also do it with a higher point of view that sees the sacred in all of it. That's the true symbolism of accepting communion, is you are willing to see the sacred in the commonplace in your life and in our world. It's not something far away, it's right in our midst. My fairy godmother, Alice Howell, talks about how the sacred is in the commonplace, and she, being my fairy godmother, talked about how the fairy godmother in the stories reminds us that God, Mother, in the divine form, is present in our lives. I grew up reading, oh, the fairy godmother, and I never thought about God, Mother. That spiritual truth is present everywhere. It's found in churches all over, in the little niches on the side where Mary is, where people light candles. And that's where they take their most heartfelt feelings and experiences and challenges, not into the big part of the cathedral or the basilica, but into the sweet, tender little spaces. It's like the spaces in our own hearts that are tender that we can welcome people into. Well, I thought it was interesting. I didn't know until Thursday afternoon I was going to be doing a talk today. So I prayed for inspiration, needless to say. I knew I had a given theme based on the week. That helped. And what I realized was that in my lifetime, there have been a number of moments of gathering at table to be safe, gathering at table to bless and to see the sacred in the commonplace. And these are those shining moments that in the midst of all of the challenges of the world, it reminds us what is possible. And every time we have one of those experiences, it deepens our faith and broadens our sense of possibilities. One of the first ones that came to mind for me was from 1971. I had to go online to find the years for these things. 1971, a Coke ad. I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. You remember it. Don't you remember how that impacted you? A Coca-Cola commercial just opened all of our hearts, and there were people from all over the world all singing together. That was very much a part of what's informed my life as someone who's been dedicated to peace. It was the year before this came out that I actually got to meet Peace Pilgrim in Fort Worth, Texas. I was going to TCU, Texas Christian University, small conservative school. I think there were 6 of us in the peace movement. But she came through and I got to meet her. I still have the necklace I got that night from her that's "War is not healthy for children and other living things." Do you remember that? I still have mine. So I'd like to teach the world to sing. That's one of those moments that said, come to table. It was come to table and have a Coke, but it was come to table. The next one was 1985. Do you remember We Are the World? Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie were the ones that wrote that song. And it was an all-star cast that came together to remind us that we are one. That was one of those shining moments. To this day, when I hear We Are the World, my heart just... So that was 1985. In 1986, the next year, was something called Hands Across America. Yes, you all remember that, 1986. And it was to fight homelessness and hunger and to remind us that we are one in this country. When you think about everything we'd been through and all the different movements and all the challenges, Hands Across America was saying we are truly all one. And what we were supposed to do was go to a certain place. I participated, I was in Dallas, and you were supposed to hold hands with people on either side of you, and there was 15 minutes of silence as we all held hands. And what's interesting is they said between 5 and 6.5 million people were part of that human chain. 6.5 million people. And they said there were places, out in the middle of the country where there weren't enough people. So what they did, they had ropes and banners and ribbons that would go all the way, however many miles away the next person was. And that person would hold the ribbons, and then the ribbons would go to the next person. And there was one unbroken line from coast to coast. And what was interesting is when it was over, they realized that with the number of people that had participated, there was sufficient people to have literally stood hand to hand to hand all the way across the country. I was in a spot where it was clumped because I was in downtown Dallas. And it was quite an interesting experience because you got assigned a spot. You were told the block you were supposed to go to. So I went to mine, and it was in the middle of a really rough area of Dallas near downtown, an area that my dad said never get off the freeway there. And I went, but that's my spot. So I went. And I parked and I walked to my spot, and I was just kind of going, okay. And people started to arrive, and then I heard this roar of motorcycles. And a motorcycle gang. I'm not talking businessmen that do it for the weekend. I'm talking a real old-fashioned Texas motorcycle gang pulled up about a block and a half away, got off their motorcycles, and came to my block. And I remember thinking, oh my. And I made eye contact with one of them, and he said, is this the Hands Across America? And I said, yeah. And he said, oh, good, can I hold your hand? And I said, yes, of course. I had a motorcycle guy on each side of my hands in the block that I was at. And it was so wonderful to realize that despite our outer appearances, we were all holding for peace together. And after it was over, he said, "May I please walk you to your car to make sure you're safe?" How cool! That message made that Hands Across America even more important to me. It reminded me, truly, we are all one, no matter what the appearance is. It actually raised $15 million as part of it. You gave $10 to be part of the event. The next one that I came across was the Indian Ocean tsunami in 2004. Remember that. It hit Sri Lanka and Thailand, but most especially the coast of Indonesia. And the whole world was just devastated. I mean, it was just a horrific thing. And so people all around the world began giving money. And it was primarily filtered through a special UN group that was to make sure that all of the money was gathered and was given to the people to help rebuild and to take care of them as they rebuilt. And so the call went out all around the world, and I found myself thinking, oh, everybody's doing, if everybody does a little something, it'll really add up. So I did what I could do. I knew a lot of people who did. And what was absolutely stunning, by the time it was over, out of the hearts of the people of the world, a colossal $6.2 billion was raised. If you told, okay, I want to raise $6 billion, everybody would have laughed. But little bits together created an absolute miracle. So from this tsunami of water came this tsunami of blessings. We got to hold the light for and with one another. There was an ad years ago, and I tried to find it and couldn't find it, but it was a table that was a long table that went all the way across the United States. And it was table hook to table hook to table, and all the different kinds of people. And that to me represents this country for me. I want to see us sitting at one universal table. One of the moments that called us to that table in grief and in sorrow and in shock was, of course, September 11th, 2001, with the attack on New York. That called forth from us the best of us. There was a store that opened up that had shoes, and he said, come in and get shoes, because a lot of the women had on high heels, and they were trying to navigate the rubble of downtown. He said, just gave away his entire store of walking shoes and athletic shoes and tennis shoes so people could get home. People opened their homes to one another. Come stay with me. They helped. People rushed into the danger rather than away from it. And I've always loved that I got to see a video that was on TV. I never saw it again. It was one reporter in the midst of that came on and said, I've got a woman here who was in one of the first building that went down. And the woman said, yes, she said, I was running down and the firefighters were running up. But the most amazing thing was as they were running up, I noticed they were the most beautiful people I'd ever seen, and they had the clearest blue eyes. They all had these beautiful blue eyes. Well, I remembered that Dorothy Curtis, my first Unity minister with her husband, Don, talked about how the presence of angels, when they drop into bodies, they are beautiful and they have amazing blue eyes. And in that moment, I went, those people who were so brave to run into the danger, their souls had already been lifted out and replaced by angels so that they didn't suffer in their willingness to love and be present. Out of that experience, the interfaith movement grew in ways that were absolutely miraculous. I've told you the story of my brother-in-law who was Egyptian Muslim and was always very anti-Semitic. And after 9/11, his imam said, we're going to do a service with the Jewish synagogue and with the Baptist church down the street. And he wasn't going to go. And his imam said, I am calling you to be present. And so he went. And at the end of the night, he called me and he said, Pam, he said, those people were all so nice. And their prayers sounded just like our prayers. And he said, something happened. And I thought, if that could touch Fauzi's heart, it could touch others as well. And so the United States interfaith movement is one of the gifts and blessings that emerged, where it's saying, let us harmonize our different spiritual paths rather than saying one is right and one is wrong. Let's honor and celebrate that the divine meets each and every one of us right where we are, in a languaging and a form that we can understand. And then I was absolutely moved to tears in 2015 when they did their first formal interfaith remembrance service in honor of those who had been part of 9/11. And in 2015, Pope Francis came and was part of this interfaith service. And go online and look it up, because watching it, each of the various faith traditions came forward. They were dressed in the attire of their countries, and they read their prayers first in their native language and then in English. And it was this beautiful harmony of these spiritual traditions, and I loved that the Pope of the Catholic Church was right there, honoring and celebrating all of the different people who were sharing their faith. We need this now more than ever. I am now open to receive and to be part of whatever that next moment is, where collectively we go, let us be one. Let us remember that all people are God's people. I've always loved the Native American story about the tree of life, and that all of God's children abide under the tree of life. In the Christian tradition in the New Testament, when you get all the way to the book of Revelations, you find the trees that started out at the beginning. But there is a tree now that provides fruit in every season for everyone. And it is a tree under which all of humanity is invited to sit, not just those of the Christian tradition. All people. Let us love one another, the greatest commandment ever. So I invite you to open up. We did a project a few years back. Michael McKee was still alive then, and he funded doing bumper stickers. I did a talk one Sunday about Make America Kind Again. And I still have the bumper sticker on my car, Make America Kind Again. And I had been speaking on an event where these children all gathered together and agreed to do acts of kindness to make a difference in the world. So our calling is to make America and to make the world kind again, where we can sit at table together and not talk politics if we can't handle it, but be willing to behold the divine in each and every soul. I'd like to close with a piece from the Dalai Lama. This came from his Nobel Peace Talk on December the 11th, 1989. Responsibility does not only lie with the leaders of our countries or with those who have been elected or appointed to do a particular job. Thank heavens. It lies with each of us individually. Peace, for example, starts within each of us. When we have inner peace, we can be at peace with those around us. So at your Thanksgiving table this year, let there be a consciousness of peace and oneness, and let us be the vessels through which peace descends on earth. Let us pray. Sweet, sweet Spirit, abiding presence of the divine, we know that in you we live and move and have our being. Let us reawaken to what that actually means. In you we live. In you we move. In you we have our being. And that is true for each and every one. I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. And so we do. Amen and blessed be. I pulled it off. It's been a busy week. So I invite you now to stand, and together we're going to embody that presence of the divine, and I wish for you each a peaceful and blessed Thanksgiving, full of not only richness of food for body, but food for mind and heart and soul as well. Blessed be each of you.
I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed.
Look around at the others as you sing.
I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed.
Oh, I'm so glad you're all in the world. Please be seated.
And now we come to the time in the service where we collect the offering. So please get out your offering, and when you have it ready, please repeat with me. If I can remember what I'm supposed to say now.
Divine,
Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful. Who's collecting the offering today? Ah, there you are, ladies. Come on up.
Gratitude for me,
Gratitude
behind me,
Gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I am so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful.
Oh, it is with deep and abiding thanks that we receive these gifts of loving support for this spiritual community, for this spiritual family. Each and every one who contributes to support the vision and the calling that we share is blessing the world consciously in an embodied way that we cannot help but be in true gratitude for. Oh, sweet Spirit, we bless each of these gifts and all of the gifts and prosperity yet to come. We give thanks for our celebration and season of light and our upcoming festival of lights. We bless it that it be prosperous and blessing to one and to all. May the message of unity radiate forth from this circle of which we all are a part and which we all keep alive with our contributions at every level of being and with our love and devotion. And for this we are deeply and profoundly grateful. We say, thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you, God, and so it is.
But I don't think my mic is on. Now it is. There we go. So, lots and lots of announcements. First of all, welcome again to our visitors. We're very happy to have you. Please come again and see us. If you have any questions about Unity, please ask any of us here. I want to make sure everybody knows about the prayer chaplains. David and Ida are here to take your prayers, to share affirmative prayer with you in the prayer chapel. Please make sure if you don't want to have a prayer shared with them that you write one out on the prayer cards in the back, and we keep them here for a week and pray over them, and then we send them to Silent Unity where they are prayed over for another 30 days. And let me tell you, when I've put prayers in there, things wonderful happen. So please do consider that. Now, of course, the big announcements that we have are all about the Festival of Lights that's coming up in 2 weeks. And we have lots of people, counting on lots of people to help with that. And so after service today, after the prayer chaplains meet, we're going to have a meeting of all of the leaders for Festival of Lights. We have like 10 different things going on. So if you're one of those people, please make sure to stay to talk to us in the hearth room. And if you haven't yet volunteered and you want to, we still could use more cookies. We still could use people helping set up all the tables and gifts. We need some cashiers. We need helpers with the psychic readers, signing people up for that. So we still need lots of volunteers. So if you've been waiting for your moment, please step forward now, because we certainly could use you. Diane Fox and myself have been working frantically to coordinate this with lots of help from many people, and we still need that help, and thank you for that. As you know, we have lots of things listed on the website that happen in the Hearth Room during the week. Please go looking there. So prayer chaplains will meet after service today. Couple of important things. There's going to be, in December, we have something going on every single week. Every Sunday, there will be something amazing going on in December. So, of course, you know, the Festival of Lights is the 1st and 2nd, which is a Friday and Saturday. Big sale here. Please participate in that, volunteer, and also spend your money buying things, cookies and other things. We really could do that. Bring a friend, okay? Bring your neighborhood. If you want to post up any flyers, we have lots of flyers. Beverly's printed out. If you have places where you would like to put a flyer, we could really use helpers putting up some flyers. We will have ads in the newspaper. We're going to be on Facebook. We have lots of things. So please, but put the flyers out there so people see those too. That's the first weekend, but that Sunday, the 3rd of December, we are very, very lucky. We're going to be having a Festival of Lights harp concert. David Michael, who is a local legend, famous harpist, he's going to be performing here on the 3rd of December at 3 o'clock. Tickets are $20. And he gets a significant portion of that money to support him, but the rest of it comes back to us for the festival. And there will be 100 chairs here for that concert, and we're really hoping to get a good turnout, so please make sure you spread the word about that. Then the following Sunday is going to be our Key City Play special day for What the Dickens. It is a comedy play where Charles Dickens meets Sherlock Holmes. And apparently it's going to be quite hilarious. And the theater actually puts on this benefit performance only for Unity. It's not a published sale date, and there will be 75 tickets for sale at $35, and I have the tickets here. I think David or maybe Beverly printed them up. They're numbered. You buy them from us. You can invite your friends and family, but we cannot put it in the newspaper. So this is an important day for us. They're doing this as a benefit, so all the money that is raised from this comes back to Unity, because, you know, we store all their costumes in the back in our warehouse, and so all their costumes and sets and things are stored here, and this is how they repay us by doing this particular thing for us. So that's going on. Then the following Sunday is going to be our White Elephant gift exchange. And if you haven't been to that, boy, that's a hoot. That's a lot of fun, and we get some pretty hilarious things wrapped up in Christmas paper, and you'd be shocked at some of the things that show up. And then once you get it, you're either stuck with it or somebody wants to steal it from you. And we all sit around in a big circle and have some cookies and some cider and see what kind of funny and interesting things show up. Sometimes they're really wonderful. I got a lovely necklace and earrings one time, but I also got some really weird stuff. Very unusual stuff. So that's going on. And then the Sunday after that is Christmas Eve. And we're going to have a very nice Christmas Eve candlelight service. So 5 o'clock, I think it's at. So as you can see, December here is going to be lots of fun, and we all want you to bring, come with a smile on your face, bring your friends. It's always more fun at the holidays when there's lots of people and enjoying a good time. So let's see if I forgot anything on this lovely list that Beverly gave me. Oh, let's see. There's a grief and the holidays for people who are going through grief. This event will be offered Wednesday, December 6th from 4 to 5:30, facilitated by Allison Kritzner. Then there's a holiday self-care workshop by Zane Counseling, which is actually coming up after Thanksgiving, November 26th, 3 p.m., and December 5th, 7 p.m. And they will also be doing a holiday hacks thing, Zane Counseling is. So lots of interesting things going on, and we hope that you will participate in as many of them as you feel so called, especially helping with Festival of Lights, though. Okay? I need you all. I need you all. Diane and I and Beverly and Pam can't do it by ourselves, that's for darn sure. So we love you. We want you to be there and enjoy it with us. Okay. I think I covered everything, Pam. I think it's time to gather around in a circle and let's sing our song and hold hands and do our hands across unity today. How's that? Do that. She even gave it to me. All right, I took my hand off the microphone. So, if you don't know, we actually support OLICAP, the families that are in transitional housing that live in there's usually 8 families that live in these Haynes Street little houses. And if you did not donate money last week for this, this is our last opportunity to actually have you donate some money for this. What happens is that Mary, any contribution you make, Mary collects the money and brings it to OLICAP. She purchases Safeway gift cards so that these families who have very, very little can actually have something for Thanksgiving dinner. And obviously, the more we can collect to give them in a gift card, the better, because there's going to be 8 gift cards. So last week, Mary collected $140, $165, and it would be fabulous if we could reach the target of $400, that each family could get a $50 gift card. That would get them a turkey and a few fixings. So please, if you brought cash, if you want to write a check, I'm going to put $50 in here because I know I have my turkey and I want somebody else to have a turkey too. So I think it's very important that you guys put some money in the basket if you can, because Mary's got to buy those gift cards tomorrow.
And I'm going to put it back on our fellowship table so you can't get out the door without seeing it. Here we go. You set that on the table right back there. Thank you. We are ready now. We are ready. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, united all are we. Yes, we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every breath I take, yes, this is my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. And we know the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Yes, happy Thanksgiving. Go forth blessed and blessing. Yes. Oh, good.
Do not be dismayed by the brokenness of the world. All things break. All things can mend. Not with time, as they say, but with intention. So go, love intentionally, extravagantly, unconditionally. The broken world waits in darkness for the light that you are.
Oh, yes. Woo! Thank you, David. Woo! Beautiful. Huh? Yes, yes.
That someone somewhere should make a change. We are all a part of one great big family. And the truth, you know, love is all we need. We are the world.
We are the children with one's brighter day tomorrow. It's hard. Oh, yes. Oh, woo! See, we're already feasting at table together. Oh, thank you all for being part of the potluck. You did a wonderful job. No, you did a wonderful job. I love the poem you picked. That was really beautiful.